What is up, everybody? So this article was just sent to me a few minutes ago. It is about Candace Owens making a murderer and convicting a murderer. It is posted by thewesternjournal.com, and I will link it in the description below so you can go have a view for yourself. The headline reads, Candace Owens shreds Netflix, says they should return their Emmys. Conservative firebrand Candace Owens has never been afraid to take a hatchet to the most sacred totems in culture, left or right-leaning. Her latest stab at this is coming in the form of a 10-part docuseries aiming to deconstruct and debunk the popular Netflix series Making a Murderer. For the unaware, Making a Murderer was a true crime documentary that focused on a man named Stephen Avery and the sordid scandal surrounding him. Namely, Avery was wrongfully convicted of murder initially. Well, that's wrong. Before ultimately being found guilty of a different murder. Ooh, Western Journal, get your facts right. Wild. They published this and wow. Avery was wrongfully convicted of murder initially before ultimately being found guilty of a different murder. When was this posted? September 13th, 2023. 2 days ago, and they cannot get their facts right. Wild. Many have accused the Netflix series, whose 2 seasons debuted in 2015 and 2018 respectively, of being too far sympathetic to Avery and was actually a thinly disguised critique of police. Owens clearly falls into that camp, but unlike your average angry social media user, she has the resources, thanks to the Daily Wire, to actually tackle the subject with the effort it needs. To help promote her new project, Candace Owens has been on a mild PR tour. They state mild PR tour. Not extensive, not amazing, not any, mild. Just a little PR tour, a mild PR tour. As part of that, she spoke to the New York Post, and she did not mince words when it came to what to expect with her series Convicting a Murderer. Right off the bat, Candace Owens and Convicting a Murderer director Sean Reck took aim at the ethically shady actions allegedly committed by the creators of Making a Murderer. We have recordings of them telling Stephen Avery that this is his movie and they hope it gets him out. I don't see anything wrong with that, personally. I wouldn't have minded if the creators of Making a Murderer on the media circuit said, hey, listen, we called this guy and told him we think he's completely not guilty and that the story we want to tell. And that's the story we want to tell, Owens added. That honestly up front is needed. Don't pretend that you don't have a narrative or stake in this. Sweet, holy crap. Honestly, that honesty up front is needed. Don't pretend that you don't have a narrative. This word keeps popping up. I keep talking about it. They have absolutely no idea what narrative means. I said it jokingly in the other videos, but man, they don't. They also are pushing their own narrative. Every documentary ever made in the history of the world has a narrative behind it. Don't pretend that you don't have a narrative or stake in this. Candace Owens, do you not have a narrative or stake in this? Is this not a new show for you to try and boost your popularity on a network that you are on? What an absolutely ridiculous thing to say. Owens also added that the Netflix documentary came dangerously close to anti-police. There is no question that that Netflix tried to make it seem as if it was plausible that all of this was set up against Stephen Avery, conducted by the state, with willing participants being the police officers. Reck then flat out stated that the goal of his counter-series was to hold non-fiction filmmakers more accountable. My goal for this film is to call to action for the filmmakers to create a voluntary set of ethical standards. Woo! You can say it's an advocacy piece, but say it's an advocacy piece. Say your narrative say there's a narrative behind convicting a murder. I'm begging you. Owens' biggest demand came, however, when she said that Netflix should return the Emmys that the show won. Making a Murderer won a litany of Emmys at the 2016 Primetime Emmy Awards, including Outstanding Documentary for Non-Fiction Series and Outstanding Directing for a Non-Fiction Programming. You almost got away with this documentary, Owens said. You made it seem like you were just interested in following the facts, and then suddenly someone comes from behind you and shows you how much you intentionally left out. How intentional were you in leaving those bits out? Though they should be ashamed, they should be embarrassed, they should return their Emmys. Convicting a Murderer is currently available for Daily Wire Plus subscribers. The first 4 episodes are available, with the 10th and final episode slated to drop October 26, 2023. The first episode, however, is available to anyone who has access to X, formerly Twitter. That is a wild article that starts out extremely inaccurate. I'm going to take a line from somebody on Twitter that said their fact checker needs a fact checker. I cannot believe they actually posted this. This is ridiculous. And it's full of inaccuracies right off the start. Let me know what you think. Leave some comments below. I hope you're having a good day, and I will see you again soon.